I remember the moment before everything changed, when the forest still breathed softly, when the ground was cool beneath my paws, and the world had not yet learned my name through fear. Morning came slowly here. Not with noise, not with warning, but with light. Thin ribbons of gold slipped between the trees, touching leaves, warming bark, waking insects one by one. Dew clung to the grass like tiny mirrors, and every step I took left a brief, dark memory behind me. This place was not mine, yet it knew me. I walked its paths as if they were written into my bones. I am a stray, no caller, no voice calling me home, but I am not lost. The forest edge has taught me how to live, where the water stays clean after rain, which roots hide snakes, which shadows move and which only watch. I drink from the shallow stream each morning, listening as dragonflies hum low over the surface. Their wings flash blue, then vanish. Hunger comes and goes. Fear does the same. But in these early hours, neither rules me. This is when the forest feels kind. I move without hurry, nose low, reading the stories left behind in the dirt. Night animals have already passed. A porcupine, a boar. Somewhere far off, a leopard crossed hours ago, its scent thin and fading. Nothing urgent. Nothing close. Then I hear it. Not danger. Not yet. A sound. It's too soft to belong to the morning. Thin. Broken. Like breath caught between hope and pain. I stop. The forest stills with me. Birds pause mid-song. Even the wind seems to lean closer. I follow the sound. Near the stream, tangled in weeds and wet roots, lies something small. Too small to be alone. A baby deer. Its legs tremble as it tries to rise. One bent wrong beneath its body. Panic burns bright in its eyes. Every movement pulls pain from its chest. I do not rush. Predators rush. I am not a predator today. I lower myself to the ground, slow, careful, making my body smaller. My ears tilt back. My breath stays quiet. The fawn sees me and freezes. Its heart pounds so loud I can almost feel it through the air. For a moment, fear fills the space between us like fog, then nothing happens. I stay, the forest stays, the fawn's breathing slows, just a little. Enough to live. Enough to wait. I lie near it, close enough that my warmth reaches its shaking body, far enough that it does not bolt. We do not touch. Not yet. Trust does not arrive all at once in the wild. It creeps in, careful as sunrise. That day passes quietly, and the next I return without deciding to. Each morning, each evening, I do not bring food. I do not bring answers. I bring only what I have, my presence. When the sun grows hot, I stand where my shadow falls across the fawn's face. When insects swarm, I snap at the air, chasing them away. At night, when the forest fills with eyes and breath and movement, I sleep light, waking at every sound. The forest watches us. It always does. Days go by. Something begins to feel wrong. Not sudden. Not loud. Wrong like a taste that does not belong in water. Like a wind that carries no familiar stories. I smell it first sharp, bitter, cutting through leaf and soil. I find marks in the mud that are too straight, too wide. I hear distant sounds that do not breathe. The birds leave earlier now. The insects vanish without warning. The shadows stretch longer than they should. The forest still breathes but unevenly. The fawn leans closer to me. It presses its small body against my side when night comes. Its injured leg has not healed. It needs time the wild rarely gives. I feel its fear even when it sleeps, pulsing like a second heart. I begin to pace. I listen longer. I watch harder. One morning the birds do not sing at all. The silence is heavy, pressing down on my chest. I climb a fallen log and scan the trees. The air tastes dry, wrong. Far away, beyond the thick green wall, something growls. Not thunder, not rain. The ground hums beneath my feet. The fawn bleats softly behind me. I turn back and touch my nose to its neck. Its pulse races beneath thin skin. I stay longer than usual, ears high, body tense. The forest feels less like shelter now, more like something fragile, like a secret that cannot stay hidden. Then it happens. The sound tears through the morning without warning. A roar. Metal screaming against wood, followed by a crack so sharp it splits the air open. Birds explode from the trees. Branches shake. Dust lifts from the forest floor as if the earth itself is trying to escape. My heart slams against my ribs. The smell hits next oil. Heat, fear. This is not the forest's voice. This is something else. The fawn tries to stand. Its injured leg slips. It falls hard, crying out, panic flooding back all at once. Animals scatter in every direction. Monkeys scream. The ground trembles again, closer now. I do not think. I move. I step between the sound and the fawn. My body feels small. Too small. My fur rises along my spine. My paws sink into mud as the earth shakes beneath us. Through the trees, shapes move straight lines, sharp edges. Sharp and jizzering in a world made of curves and breath. I bark. The sound rips from my chest, loud and raw. A warning. A promise. I do not know if it will be heard. I only know I cannot stay silent. Another crash. A tree falls somewhere close, tearing open the sky above us. Light pours down, harsh and white, exposing everything the fawn's fragile body. My shaking legs, the truth of how alone we are. Time slows. I taste metal in the air. I feel fear claw at my lungs. I want to run. Every instinct tells me to flee, to disappear back into the trees where survival has always been enough. But something is behind me. Something that cannot run, so I stay. Breath by breath. Muscle locked. Eyes forward. In this moment, the forest is no longer just my shelter. It is my witness. The quiet has broken. The balance has cracked. And without knowing it, without choosing it with words or reason, I stop being a stray passing through the wild. I become a protector. The forest holds its breath. And so do I. The noise does not return that morning, but it leaves something. Behind it leaves the forest unsettled. I stay where? I am long after the dust settles. Standing between the fallen light and the small shaking body behind me, my ears stay lifted. My muscles do not relax. The fawn presses closer, its breath fast and uneven against my ribs. Whatever came did not take us, but it has marked this place. I can feel it the way animals feel, storms before the sky breaks. The forest breathes again, slowly, but not the same. When the sun climbs higher, the heat feels heavier than it should. The leaves hang still. Even the insects move cautiously, as if the air itself might snap if disturbed. I guide the fawn a few steps back into thicker cover, moving carefully, stopping often. Every sound feels louder now. Every shadow stretches longer than before. I do not leave. I circle the clearing again and again, reading the ground. The marks are clear now, wide, crushed paths where the earth has been pressed flat. The smell burns my nose. It does not belong to any animal I know. It has no warmth, no life, just sharpness and heat and something empty. This is not hunger. This is not fear. This is intrusion. As the day drags on, the forest begins to whisper warnings. Birds flee without calling. Ants abandon their trails. Somewhere close, a troop of monkeys melts into the canopy, gone before I even hear them move. The wild does not run without reason. The fawn watches me constantly now. Its eyes follow every step I take. When I move away to scout, it cries softly until I return. I press my nose to its neck again, breathing in its scent, milk, grass, fear. I am not its mother. I do not smell like safety. But right now, I am all it has. And somehow, it knows. The wind shifts in the afternoon, and with it comes a sound too low to hear clearly. A distant hum. A vibration felt more than heard. My stomach tightens. I lift my head and taste the air. The smell returns stronger now, carried on warm breath from beyond the trees. I pace back and forth. Back and forth. This restlessness is new. I have survived by knowing when to move on, when to let go. But leaving now feels wrong in a way I cannot explain. The forest edge has always been a place of passing, not staying. Yet my feet refuse to turn away. As the light begins to fade, the temperature drops quickly. The fawn shivers, its small body struggling to hold warmth. I lie close, curling myself around it as best I can, sharing what heat I have. My eyes stay open. Night animals begin to stir, but none come close. Even the predators seem distant tonight, held back by something unseen. Darkness settles, thick and heavy. The moon rises late, pale behind clouds. Shadows blend together until the forest becomes a single moving shape. I listen to every breath, every snap of twig, every whisper of leaf. Sleep comes only in fragments, broken by sudden wakes and shallow dreams. In one dream, the ground opens beneath us. In another, the trees fall like grass. I wake each time with my heart racing. Before dawn, rain begins to fall, not gentle rain. Not the kind that cools the earth and brings relief. This rain is sharp, sudden, loud. It strikes leaves and mud with force, flattening scents and drowning small sounds. The stream swells quickly, water climbing its banks. Swallowing stones I drank from only yesterday. The fawn struggles to stand as the ground softens beneath it. Mud grips its injured leg. Panic returns, raw and wild. I bark once, low and steady, pushing my body against its side, helping it keep balance. Rain soaks my fur, chills my skin, but I do not move away. The forest feels smaller now. The trees press closer. The paths I know blur into water and shadow. The scent of the intruder lingers beneath the rain, stubborn and heavy. Whatever is coming does not fear the storm. When the rain finally eases, the silence that follows is worse. No birds. No insects. No wind. Just the drip of water from leaves and the slow, tired breathing of the fawn. I lift my head and listen. Far away, the low hum returns closer than before. The ground answers with a faint tremble. I understand then, not with thought, but with instinct. This place is no longer safe, but safety is a luxury the weak rarely have. I nudge the fawn, urging it to move. Each step costs it effort, pain flashing across its small body. We make it only a short distance before it collapses again, breath tearing from its chest. I stand over it, tail low, ears flat, scanning the trees. I am trapped by a truth I cannot escape. If I leave, it dies. If I stay, we both might. The forest offers no guidance. It does not choose for us. It only watches, ancient and indifferent. Rain begins again, softer this time, like the world trying to wash its hands of what is coming. I lower my head and lick the mud from the fawn's face. Its eyes flutter, then open, locking onto mine. There is no question there, no demand. Only trust born from nowhere and everywhere at once. So I stay. As night returns, the hum grows louder. The smell thickens. The ground trembles beneath my paws, steady now, patient. Whatever is moving through the forest is not hunting. It is not alive in the way I understand life. It is changing the land. I plant my feet deeper into the mud and brace myself. Body angled toward the sound. My breath slows, even as fear tightens my chest. This is not a moment for running. This is a moment for watching. For waiting. The forest no longer feels like home. It feels like a fragile shelter, one strong wind away from collapse. And somewhere beyond the trees, something is coming closer, carving its path toward us. Writing its presence into the wind, I stand in its way. Not because I am brave, not because I believe I can win, but because behind me, a small heart beats too fast to be left alone. The forest holds its breath again, and this time, I know it may not be enough. It begins with the ground giving way beneath my paws. Not all at once. Not enough to throw me down. Just a slow, deep shudder, like the forest exhaling something it has been holding for too long. The vibration crawls up my legs and settles in my chest, heavy and wrong. I lift my head. The hum I feared is no longer distant. It is close enough now that I feel it in my teeth. The fawn stirs behind me, sensing my tension before it understands the danger. Its breath quickens. Its injured leg drags as it tries to rise, panic flashing bright in its eyes. I turn back and press my body against its side, steadying it, anchoring it to the earth. Rainwater drips from leaves above us, tapping the mud like a slow clock counting down. Then the forest breaks. A scream of metal tears through the trees. Branches snap like dry bones. A wall of sound crashes forward, flattening bird song, crushing the quiet. The air fills with dust and heat. I taste oil. I smell burning sap. The world I knew splinters in front of me, piece by piece. Animals explode from the undergrowth. Deer bolt past us, eyes wide, bodies moving faster than thought. Monkeys rain down from branches and vanish into shadows. Somewhere close, a boar cries out, sharp and furious. Before the sound is swallowed by the roar, the fawn collapses. Its legs fold beneath it, strength gone, fear taking everything else. It bleats once high, thin, helpless. The sound slices straight through me. I step forward without thinking, placing myself between its shaking body and the chaos. Tearing toward us, the machine bursts into view through the trees. It is larger than anything alive. Yellow and black, its body all straight lines and teeth, chewing through the forest as if it were soft grass. Trees fall in slow motion, crashing down with thunder that shakes my ribs. The earth opens where its tracks pass, deep and ugly. Leaving nothing whole behind, I bark. The sound comes out rough, torn from my throat. It is not a warning meant to be heard. It is a protest, a refusal. The machine does not slow. It does not turn. It does not care. The forest that raised me, fed me, hid me, is being erased in front of my eyes. Dust rolls over us like fog. My vision blurs. I hear nothing but the roar and the pounding of my own heart. The fawn thrashes behind me, trapped by pain and terror. I glance back once, just long enough to see its small body trembling in the mud. There is no time. I charge my paws sink deep as I run toward the noise. Barking again and again, throwing everything I have into the space between us and the machine. I am nothing to it, too small, too soft, but I move anyway. The ground shakes harder now, each step of the beast pressing down like a hammer. A tree falls just ahead of me. Crashing so close I feel the wind of it. I skid to a stop, breath ripping in and out of my chest. Splinters fly. Leaves rain down. The machine turns slightly, its massive arms swinging, tearing roots from the ground. I realize then what this truly is. This is not a predator. This is not hunger or instinct or fear. This is destruction without thought. The forest screams around me, not with sound, but with loss. The smell of crushed leaves and broken bark fills the air. The stream I drank from runs brown now, choking on dirt and oil. Everything familiar is being pushed aside, flattened, forgotten. I retreat just enough to stay alive, backing toward the fawn. My legs shake. My throat burns. Fear claws at me, sharp and urgent, telling me to run, to vanish, to survive the way I always have. But the fawn cannot run. The machine lurches closer, its shadow swallowing the clearing. I stand my ground again, chest low, teeth bared, barking until my voice cracks. I know it is useless. I know it changes nothing. Still I do it. The fawn cries out behind me, louder now, pain and terror spilling into the open. That sound reaches something deeper than fear inside me. It pulls me backward through memories I did not know. I kept cold nights alone. Hunger that twisted my belly. Moments when I waited for help that never came. I will not let this be one of those moments. The machine's arm swings wide, tearing into the earth beside us. Mud and roots explode into the air. I am thrown backward, rolling hard across the ground. Pain shoots through my side. My breath leaves me in a sharp burst. For a second, the world goes white. I struggle up, dizzy, ears ringing. My body screams at me to stop, to stay down. To give in? I crawl back to the fawn. It lies still now, eyes wide, chest fluttering fast and shallow. I press my body over it, shielding it as best I can, making myself larger, louder, visible. My heart pounds against its small frame. Rain begins to fall again, washing dust from the air. Turning the ground slick beneath us, the machine pauses. Just for a moment, its roar drops to a low growl. The arm hangs still. I do not understand why. I do not question it. I stare up at the towering shape, muscles trembling, breath shaking, ready to lunge again if I must. Time stretches thin. Then, from somewhere beyond the trees, a new sound cuts through the rain. Voices, human voices, shouts, sharp, urgent, different from the noise of the machine. The arm lifts again, then stops. The machine turns away slightly, responding to commands I cannot hear clearly. The ground trembles as it begins to pull back slowly, reluctantly. I do not move. I stay over the fawn, watching, waiting, every muscle locked. The machine retreats a few yards, then more. The roar fades into a distant rumble. Trees stop falling. The forest's wounds lie open. Raw and bleeding green, silence returns. Not the gentle silence of mourning, but a shocked, broken quiet. Rain falls softly now, cooling my burning skin. I lower my head, touching my nose to the fawn's neck, feeling its heart beat fast, but still there. Relief floods me so hard my legs nearly give out. The danger is not gone. I know this. But something has changed. The forest is no longer whole. The line between safety and death has been crossed. The world has shown its teeth. It will not forget us now. I lift my head and look toward the place where the machine disappeared. My body aches. My breath is ragged. Fear still coils tight in my chest. Yet I remain standing. This was the first fracture of the moment the quiet life shattered. The moment survival demanded more than hiding and waiting. I am no longer just watching danger approach. I have faced it, and somewhere deep in the forest. Beyond the broken trees and muddy ground, I feel it clearly now. This was only the beginning. The silence that follows is worse than the noise. It presses down on the forest like a weight, thick and unmoving. No birds return. No insects dare to sing. Even the rain seems afraid to fall too loudly. I stand over the fawn, legs shaking, chest rising and falling in sharp, uneven breaths. My body hurts in places I cannot see. Pain blooming slowly now that the danger has pulled back just far enough to let me feel it, but the danger has not left. It never truly does. The ground around us is torn open, raw and unfamiliar. Trees lie where they should not be, their roots exposed like broken bones. The stream that once whispered beside us now runs wide and muddy, swallowing the banks that held it steady. Every familiar scent is gone, replaced by oil, crushed leaves, and fear soaked deep into the soil. The forest has changed its shape. The fawn tries to move again. It pushes weakly against the ground, its injured legs slipping uselessly beneath its body. A small sound escapes its throat, not loud enough to be a cry, not soft enough to be ignored. I lower my head and nudge it gently, urging calm. Though my own heart is still racing, we cannot stay here. I know this the way animals know fire before they see flame. This clearing has been marked. Whatever tore through it may return, and next time it may not stop. I glance toward the broken trees, ears lifting at every creak, every settling branch. The forest no longer hides us. It exposes us. I try to guide the fawn toward thicker cover, step by step, slow and careful. I brace my shoulder against its side, taking some of its weight. Mud sucks at our legs, cold and heavy. The rain has softened the earth too much, turning the ground into a trap of its own. Each movement costs effort. Each breath feels borrowed, halfway to the trees. The fawn collapses again. This time it does not try to rise. Its sides flutter fast, breath shallow and uneven. Its eyes roll back for a moment, then return wide with panic and pain. I circle it once, then again, unsure where to stand. What to do? I lick its face, tasting mud and salt and fear. My tail drops low. I whine softly, a sound I have not made in a long time. The forest offers no answers, as if summoned by our weakness. Other sounds begin to creep in. A rustle to the left. A low grunt somewhere behind us. The snap of a twig. Slow and deliberate. I freeze. This is not the machine. This is alive. The predators have turned. They linger at the edges of the destruction, drawn by chaos and scent. I smell them now, wild dogs. Maybe a hyena pack, bold and patient. They do not rush. They do not need to. The forest has already done half their work. I position myself between the fawn and the shadows. Muscles tightening despite the pain screaming through my side. My ears flatten. My lips pull back from my teeth, not in rage but in warning. I know this dance. I have survived it before, but never like this. The ground limits me. The fawn limits me. I cannot chase. I cannot bluff for long. The predators sense it too. Their shapes move closer, just out of full view, eyes glinting through leaves and broken branches. Fear wraps tight around my chest. I bark once, sharp and loud, forcing the sound to carry. It echoes weakly in the broken clearing. The shadows pause. Somewhere, a low laugh answers me, a sound that makes my skin crawl. They are not afraid. The fawn stirs beneath me, sensing the shift, sensing death inching closer. Its small body presses against my legs, instinctively seeking protection it does not understand. The weight of that trust is heavier than any wound. Rain begins again, slow and cold. The forest darkens as clouds swallow what light remains. Shadows stretch and blend, giving the predators more cover. I step wider over the fawn, lowering my body, making myself a barrier. My muscles burn. My breath shakes. I know I cannot hold this forever. Then another sound breaks through the tension. Footsteps, careful, human. I stiffen, unsure whether this is hope or another threat. Through the rain and broken trees, shapes appear to humans in dark clothing, moving cautiously. Voices low but urgent. Rangers, I recognize them not by sight alone, but by memory, the way the forest shifts around them. Wary, but not fleeing. The predators hesitate. They retreat just enough to wait. The humans spot us. I bark again. Louder this time, a warning and a plea tangled together. One of them stops, raising a hand. They do not rush. They do not shout. They kneel slowly, speaking in calm tones I cannot understand but feel in my bones. The fawn tries to move and fails. One ranger notices the injured leg, the way it bends wrong. His face tightens. The other looks at me, really looks at me, and pauses. Our eyes meet in that moment. The world narrows. I do not see a human. I see a decision. I growl low, not threatening, but uncertain. My body remains over the fawn. I do not step back. The ranger does not step forward. Rain falls between us, steady and quiet. Slowly, he removes his jacket and places it on the ground, sliding it closer, inch by inch. He keeps his eyes soft, his movements small. I feel the tension in him, the care. He is afraid to not of me, but of doing this wrong. The predators shift again in the shadows, impatient. Time stretches thin. I make a choice I do not understand fully. I step back half a pace, not far. Not enough to abandon, just enough. The ranger exhales slowly. He moves closer, careful, respectful. The second ranger scans the tree line, keeping watch. Together, they work around the fawn, hands gentle, voices low. The fawn cries once, then quiets as they support its injured leg. Easing it onto the jacket, I stay close. Nose nearly touching the fawn's neck, breathing with it, grounding it the only way I know how. The predators melt away into the forest. Denied their moment, the rain softens to a mist as the rangers lift the fawn. Its weight leaving the ground, panic surges again. I bark sharply, stepping forward, heart slamming. One ranger meets my eyes and stops. He waits, He lets me sniff his hand. It smells like earth sweat, something steady. Trust is not given, it is allowed. They carry the fawn toward a safer path, moving slow, careful. I follow close behind, limping now, my strength finally beginning to fail. Pain pulses through my side. My head swims. But I do not stop. The forest watches us go. This place that once felt like home now feels like a wound open. Fragile. Dangerous. I glance back once at the broken clearing, the fallen trees, scars carved into the earth. We survived, but survival has changed its shape ahead. The path narrows, leading deeper into uncertainty. The humans move with purpose. The fawn breathes, shallow but steady, and I walk on, caught between fear and hope. Knowing one truth with painful clarity, the wild does not release. Once it tests you, it tightens its grip, and somewhere ahead, beyond rain and shadow, the hardest part is still waiting. I feel the pain before I understand it. It spreads slowly from my side, deep and burning like fire trapped under skin. Every step sends a sharp reminder through my body, but I keep moving. The humans walk ahead of me, careful and quiet, carrying the fawn wrapped in dark cloth. Its small chest rises and falls in short, fragile breaths. Each one sounds like it might be the last. The forest closes around us again, darker now, heavier. Rain drips from leaves in steady taps that echo in my ears. My paws slip on wet ground, but I do not fall. I cannot. Not yet, I stay close. Too close, maybe. The humans glance back often, checking the space between us. They move slowly on purpose. They know I am watching. They know this moment is thin as glass. The scent of the machine still clings to the air behind us, faint but stubborn. The forest does not forget quickly. Broken branches scrape against each other in the wind, making sounds that pull my attention again and again. Every shadow feels alive. Every breath tastes like warning. My body is tired, not the tiredness of hunger or long nights. This is deeper. This is the cost of standing when running would have been easier. My muscles tremble now without being asked. My head dips low as I walk. Still, my eyes never leave the fawn. A memory rises without warning, cold ground. Empty nights. The sound of my own stomach screaming while the world stayed quiet. I remember waiting once. Waiting for something, anything to come back for me. It never did. I learned then how thin survival can be. How fast it disappears when you are small and alone. I will not let that happen again. The humans stop. One kneels, adjusting his grip on the cloth. The other scans the trees, hand resting on something metal at his side. The fawn stirs, letting out a weak sound. Its eyes flutter open, unfocused. Panic flickers through it like lightning. I step forward before I think. A low growl rolls from my chest, not anger. It's not threat, but fear wrapped tight in sound. The kneeling human freezes. He looks at me, really looks, and slowly lowers his head. His voice is soft. Calm. I do not understand the words, but I feel the meaning. Wait. I stand over the fawn again, placing my body between it and everything else. Rain darkens my fur. My side screams in protest as I lower myself, but I ignore it. My breath shakes. I press my nose gently against the fawn's neck, grounding it the only way I know how. Its heart races beneath my touch. The forest watches. This is the moment. I feel it settle into my bones like a weight I cannot shake. The humans mean to help. I know this now. They have moved slowly. They have waited. They have followed the rules of the wild. Listen first. Act second, but help comes with separation. If they take the fawn, I do not know where it will go. I do not know if I will follow. I do not know if I will ever see it again. The forest does not promise reunions. It rarely gives them. My instincts pull me in opposite directions. Run, protect, stay alive. Stay close. Pain pulses harder now, spreading with each heartbeat. I realize dimly that I cannot keep this up much longer. My body is failing in ways I cannot fight. If I stay, I may fall. If I fall, I become another problem the wild solves quickly. The choice tightens around my chest. The fawn bleats softly again, searching for me even though I am right here. Its small head shifts toward my warmth. That sound breaks something open inside me. It is not a cry of fear anymore. It is trust. I lift my head and look at the kneeling human. Our eyes meet. There is no challenge in his gaze. Only patience. Only care. He does not reach for the fawn. He waits for me to decide. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. I step back. One slow step. Then another. Every instinct screams at me to stop, to close the space again. To shield the small body from a world that has already proven cruel. My legs shake so hard I nearly fall. Pain flares sharp and bright, stealing my breath. I stop just far enough, not leaving. Not abandoning, allowing the human exhales, long and slow, as if he has been holding his breath for hours. Carefully, gently, he adjusts the cloth around the fawn, supporting its injured leg. The fawn cries out once, startled. I lunge forward before I can stop myself. The other human raises a hand not to block me, but to pause the movement. He speaks softly, steady, calm. The sound settles something inside me. Even as fear still burns, the fawn's cries fade to shallow breaths. The humans lift it fully now, its weight leaving the ground. The moment stretches thin. My heart pounds. This is the point of no return. If I step forward now, everything could break. I do not. I stay. Rain falls harder, masking the sound of my breathing. The forest seems to lean in, waiting to see if I will change my mind. My body aches with the effort of holding still. The humans begin to move again, turning toward a narrow trail I have never taken. One looks back at me and points gently toward the path. An invitation. I take one step, then another. Relief floods through me. So sudden it almost knocks me down. I am not being left behind. Not yet. The humans allow me to follow, keeping space, keeping respect. Together, we move deeper into the forest, away from the broken clearing, away from the machines and the predators waiting in shadows. With each step, my strength drains faster. My vision blurs at the edges. The world narrows to sound and smell, and the steady movement of the fawn ahead of me. This choice has cost me something. I do not know yet what that cost will be. Pain deepens in my side. My breath grows shorter. But beneath it all, a strange calm begins to form. I chose protection over safety, trust over fear, hope over instinct. The forest does not reward such choices easily, but as we disappear beneath the trees, rain washing our tracks from the earth, I understand one quiet truth. Some choices hurt because they matter, and once made, they cannot be undone. My body begins to betray me long before my mind is ready to accept it, at first. It is only a stumble-upon slipping on wet leaves. A sharp pull in my side that steals a breath I cannot replace fast enough. I correct myself and keep moving. I always have. The forest taught me that stopping is dangerous. Stillness invites teeth. Weakness draws eyes. But this time, the pain does not fade. It grows. Each step sends fire through my ribs. My chest tightens, breath turning shallow and fast. The world feels heavier, like gravity itself has chosen me as its anchor. Ahead, the humans move with careful urgency. The fawn wrapped close, its small body rising and falling in uneven rhythm. I focus on that movement, counting breaths the way I count steps. 1, 2. Still breathing, the forest grows darker as we move deeper, canopy thick above us. Rain drips steadily, tapping against leaves and skin, washing scent and sound into confusion. This should help us hide, but it also steals my senses. Everything feels closer. Too close. Predators know this kind of weather. I smell them again. Not sharp, not near, but present, patient, waiting for a moment when effort turns into collapse. My ears twitch at every rustle, but my head feels too heavy to lift high for long. My legs tremble now without pause. I slow. The humans notice. One glances back, eyes narrowing slightly as he sees my gait change. He does not stop. He cannot. The fawn needs shelter, warmth, care I cannot give alone. The path narrows, twisting between roots and fallen branches, forcing them to move carefully. I try to keep up. The forest tilts. For a moment, the ground seems to rise to meet me. My front legs buckle. I catch myself before I fall, claws digging into mud, breath tearing from my lungs. Pain explodes across my side, bright and blinding. I let out a sound I do not recognize, half growl, half whine. The humans freeze. Rain hushes the moment, softening edges, stretching time thin. One steps closer, slow and open, hands empty. I bare my teeth without meaning to. Fear flashes through me, not of him, but of what this moment might take away. If I fall, I become the problem. The human stops where he is. He kneels instead, lowering himself, making his body smaller. He speaks softly, voice steady, calm. I do not understand the words, but I feel their shape. They are not commands. They are not demands. They are patience. The fawn stirs, sensing the pause. It lets out a weak sound, searching. That sound pulls me back into myself. I force my legs to straighten. My muscles scream, but they obey. I take one step forward, then another, dragging my body through the pain. The human rises slowly and steps back. Giving me space, we move again, not far. The rain thickens, cold now, seeping through fur and skin. My strength drains faster with each passing minute. The forest floor turns slick, uneven. My vision blurs at the edges, dark spots creeping in when I blink. I fight it. I focus on the fawn. On the steady movement of the humans ahead. Survive. Stay upright. Stay close. A low sound rolls through the trees behind us. Not loud. Not rushed. A predator's patience. My hackles rise weakly. I try to bark, but the sound comes out thin, cracked. The forest answers with silence. The humans stop again, scanning the trees. One shifts his stance, positioning himself between us and the sound. I realize then that I am no longer the only one protecting. That thought should bring relief. Instead, it scares me. I have always survived by my own watchfulness, my own teeth, my own speed. Sharing that burden feels strange, unfamiliar. Yet my body no longer gives me a choice. I am slowing. I am fading. We reach a shallow hollow beneath a cluster of thick trees. The ground dips just enough to block wind and rain. The humans lower the fawn carefully, placing it on dry leaves beneath a wide root. One removes a small light, shielding it quickly. Checking the fawn's breathing, its injured leg. I stand nearby. Swaying, the world spins. I take one step closer and collapse. The ground slams into me harder than expected. Mud fills my mouth. My side screams. For a moment, I cannot breathe. Panic surges sharp and hot. I scramble weakly, claws slipping, legs refusing to hold. Hands appear near me. I snap instinctively, a warning without teeth. The hands retreat at once. No force. No rush. The human's voice stays calm, low, respectful. He waits. I lie there, chest heaving, rain sliding off my fur. The forest closes in, sounds growing distant, muffled. Fear creeps deeper now, not fear of death, but of failing while something still needs me. The fawn bleats softly. That sound cuts through the fog in my head. I turn my face toward it, dragging my body just enough to see. Its eyes are open, searching. When it sees me, it stills. Its breathing slows, just a little. I am still here. The humans work quietly around us. One keeps watch. The other wraps something warm around the fawn, supporting its leg, checking its temperature. Their movements are careful, practiced, but gentle. I watch through half-lidded eyes, memorizing the way they move. The way they pause when the fawn's trust grows slowly. Even now, my body trembles uncontrollably. Cold sets in deep, mixing with pain, turning my limbs heavy and slow. I try to rise again, and fail. Darkness presses closer at the edges of my vision. The forest sounds stretch and blur as if I am sinking underwater. This is how it ends. A quiet voice whispers inside me. Not with teeth. Not with fire. With exhaustion. A shape moves near my head. I lift my lip weakly, but the energy is gone. A hand settles just in front of my nose, not touching, just there. I smell earth, rain, and something steady. The human does not look at me directly. He looks past me, letting me choose. I lower my head back to the ground. The rain softens. The predators remain at a distance, unwilling to approach the humans, unwilling to challenge the space they now claim. The forest seems to pause again, waiting, watching. The fawn breathes. I breathe. Barely, time stretches thin, each second heavy with effort. I do not know how long we stay like this. Minutes, hours. The pain never leaves, but it dulls, spreading into a deep ache that wraps my body in lead. As night approaches, the rain finally stops. The air cools, still and damp. Fireflies blink faintly at the edges of the hollow, brave enough to return now that chaos has slowed. The human gently covers me with something warm. I do not fight it. My eyes close for a moment longer than intended. I drift, half awake, half gone, listening to the fawn's breathing in the distant. Restless sounds of the wild courage has carried me this far. But courage, alone, is no longer enough. As darkness settles fully around us, I feel the truth settle with it, quiet, heavy, unavoidable. Strength does not last forever, and if we are to survive, what comes next? Something else will have to rise in its place. I wake to silence that feels too clean for the wild. No rain. No warning calls. For a moment, I think I am already gone. Then pain returns, deep and dull. Anchored in my side, and I know I am still here. My chest rises slowly, unevenly. The air smells different now, cooler, sharper. Night has settled fully, wrapping the forest in shadow so thick it feels solid. I do not move. I listen. The fawn breathes nearby, small, fragile, alive. That sound steadies me more than anything else could. I try to lift my head, but the world tilts again, reminding me of my limits. I stay low, eyes open just enough to see shapes. The humans are still here. One stands at the edge of the hollow, barely moving, silhouette broken by tree trunks. The other sits near the fawn, hands resting on his knees, patient as stone. They are quiet now, as if they understand that noise might tip the balance. Something else is watching too. I feel it before I smell it. A pressure in the air. A stillness that does not belong to rest, but to focus. My ears twitch weakly, turning toward the dark beyond the trees. A shape slides between shadows. Low, broad, controlled. A predator. My heart kicks hard against my ribs, sending pain flashing through me. Instinct surges, sharp and urgent, but my body does not answer the call. I cannot rise. I cannot charge. I cannot even bark with strength. I am a wall with cracks in it. The predator stops just beyond the reach of the light, eyes catching faint glow. It does not rush. It does not snarl. It watches, calculating. Reading the hollow the way the forest reads us all. This is how it hunts. I bare my teeth anyway. The effort costs me. My breath hitches, chest burning. I force out a low growl, more memory than sound. The predator's ears flick. It hears me. It knows I am still here. The humans freeze. One steps forward, without thinking, placing himself between the predator and the fawn. The other lifts his arms slowly, making his shape larger, louder without sound. They are afraid. I smell it on them. But they do not run. None of us do. The predator shifts its weight, muscles rolling under skin like slow water. It takes one step closer, then stops. Its gaze moves from the humans to me, lingering longer than I expect. There is no hunger in its eyes. Not yet. There is something else. Assessment. It sees my wounds. The way I lie too still. The way my breath stutters when I growl. It knows weakness. The wild always does. This should be the end, but it is not. A sound echoes from deeper in the forest, a sharp call. Distant but clear. Another of its kind. A reminder. A boundary. The predator's head turns slightly. Ears angling toward the sound. Time stretches thin again. The predator looks back at us one last time. Its gaze passes over the humans. The fawn then settles on me. For a heartbeat, we lock eyes. There is no mercy in nature the way humans understand it. But there is choice. The predator exhales, slow breath that fogs faintly in the cool air. Then it steps back, melting into shadow the same way it arrived. Leaves rustle softly, then still. The forest breathes again. I do not realize I am shaking until the tension releases and my muscles give way. My head drops into the leaves. The humans do not cheer. They do not move right away. They simply stand there, stunned by what did not happen. One kneels beside me, closer than before. He does not touch. He waits. When I do not snap, he gently places a hand on the ground near my paw. Warm, steady. The fawn lets out a small sound, confused but alive. The human beside it adjusts the covering, whispering softly. His voice is low, careful, like he is afraid the forest might hear and change its mind. I close my eyes for a moment. Not to sleep, just to feel. The pain is still there. My body is still broken. But the fear has shifted. It is no longer sharp and panicked. It has softened into something quieter. Something that makes space for breath. Minutes pass. Maybe longer. The forest does not test us again. No more eyes glow from the dark. No more sounds creep closer than they should. The reversal settles in slowly. We are still alive. The humans begin to move again. Carefully, deliberately. One speaks into a small device, voice hushed but urgent. Help is coming. I do not know what that means, but I feel the change in their energy. Purpose replaces panic. They prepare to move the fawn, lifting it with care, supporting its injured leg. One looks at me, concern written plainly across his face. He kneels again, closer now, and gently places a blanket over my body. I flinch, then I stop. The warmth seeps in, dulling the ache just enough to matter. My breathing slows. The human's hand rests briefly on my shoulder, light, respectful. Ready to pull away at the first sign of protest, I do not protest. This trust surprises both of us. The forest watches as we form something fragile together. Agreement born not of words, but of shared risk. I did not save the fawn alone. The humans did not face the predator alone. And the predator, in its own way, chose not to end us. Nature does not always take. Sometimes it pauses as dawn creeps toward the horizon. The sky lightens just enough to soften the edges of trees. Birds begin to stir, tentative at first, then braver. The night loosens its grip. I am lifted carefully onto a stretcher. My body protests, but the pain is controlled, expected. I feel hands steadying me, voices guiding each movement. The fawn is carried ahead, close, never out of sight. As we move, I catch one last glance at the hollow where we nearly ended. The ground is still damp. The leaves still scattered. No sign of the predator remains, as if it was only ever a shadow. But I know better. Mercy does not leave tracks. As the forest opens slightly and the path becomes clearer, I let my eyes close again, not from weakness, but from release. Whatever happens next, this moment will stay with me. The wild did not promise kindness, and yet for one long night, it allowed us to pass. Sometimes survival is not about strength. Sometimes it is about what chooses not to break you. It could. The first light of dawn seeps slowly through the canopy, soft and hesitant, spilling pale gold across leaves still dripping with rain. The forest feels quieter now, but quiet does not mean safe. Every shadow is longer, deeper, carrying memory as much as shape. I move slowly beside the humans, each step measured, muscles aching with the weight of exhaustion. The fawn is cradled carefully between them, fragile and trembling, its chest rising in shallow, uneven breaths. I stay close, not leading, not commanding, just existing in the thin space where survival and trust meet. My paws sink into mud, softened by the night's storm. Each step sends jolts of pain through my wounded side, but I do not falter. Not yet. The path ahead is unfamiliar. Twisting through broken undergrowth and fallen trees, the forest scarred by whatever chaos claimed it before. Memories of yesterday's terror cling to every branch, every splash of mud. I remember the predator's eyes, sharp and patient, the weight of the fawn against me, the human's steady hands. The lessons of fear and courage are stitched into the air itself, tangible, thick. My heart pounds, not only from effort, but from the awareness that each movement could tip the delicate balance we have found. The fawn's small sounds, weak but alive, pull me forward. Its trust is a fragile tether stronger than any instinct I have ever known. Rain begins again, lighter this time, tapping a soft rhythm that blends with my uneven breathing. The humans pause beneath a great tree, checking the fawn, murmuring words that I do not understand. But I feel their meaning in the tone and cadence. Care, patience, relief, they have become part of the rhythm of this rescue. The slow, careful dance of life reclaimed from danger. I lower my head toward the fawn, nose brushing against the cloth that holds it. It stirs, sensing me, and I nudge it gently, careful not to startle. Small moments like this are victories unspoken and weighty. The forest itself begins to change as we progress. The sun climbs higher, chasing away the mist, and colors slowly return, greens more vivid, browns deeper, the smell of wet earth rich and pungent. Birds begin to sing again, tentative, hesitant, as if testing the day. The rhythm of life returns in small, uneven bursts. Yet I remain wary. Danger lingers always just out of sight. I feel it in the sway of branches, in distant rustles, in the patterns of shadows that no longer promise safety. Survival has changed me. Trust has changed me. At one point, I stumble, weak legs failing for just a moment. The humans stop instantly, voices soft, guiding hands steadying the fawn, then glancing back at me. Their eyes meet mine, filled with understanding. No words are necessary. I drag myself upright, shaking, muscles quivering, and take another step. Step after step. The forest and the path and the struggle blend into one continuous motion. Each movement a statement, we will survive. Even if exhaustion has us in its grip. Hours pass, though time seems suspended, measured only in the fawn's shallow breaths and the persistent ache that courses through my body. We navigate fallen logs, muddy slopes, and shallow streams. The humans talk softly among themselves, their words unintelligible, but their cadence is comforting. Their presence is no longer strange, no longer threatening. It is part of the fragile ecosystem we have built together, a network of trust and determination. The fawn sleeps finally, small and trusting in the human's arms. I circle carefully, ears alert, eyes scanning the forest. My body wants rest, but instinct refuses. Pain pulses in my side, muscles scream, but I cannot stop entirely. The lesson of last night lingers. Weakness invites danger. But courage, even in the smallest, quietest form, can carry us forward. We reach a clearing where sunlight breaks fully through the canopy. The world feels wider, safer, though danger has not entirely left it. The humans kneel, preparing to set the fawn down on soft grass. I linger just behind, observing. The fawn stirs slightly, eyes half open, sniffing the air, sensing space beyond its small cocoon. I sniff as well, taking in every scent: clean earth, rain, wet fur, and a faint trace of human presence. Everything signals life, fragile and resilient, as we move together slowly through the clearing. Forest begins to exhale, releasing the tension of the night. Birds flit between branches, leaves shimmer with sunlight, and the air tastes like rain-washed freedom. I feel the weight of the fawn lift entirely as the humans carry it to a place of relative safety. Relief hums low in my chest, intertwined with exhaustion. Every fiber of me aches, yet the ache is layered with satisfaction. we have endured. We have survived. Finally, we pause at the edge of a small river, water clear and calm. The humans set the fawn down gently. It stretches legs still wobbly from weakness, then leans slightly against me without fear. I allow a breath I did not know I had been holding. The forest continues around us, indifferent yet beautiful, cruel yet capable of mercy. Light reflects on rippling water, shadows dancing across roots and mud. I watch the fawn's eyes meet mine, and for a moment, everything feels balanced. Predator, prey, human, and wild coexisting in a fragile equilibrium shaped by courage, patience, and trust. The journey is not over. But, for the first time in what feels like eternity, the weight of the world feels lighter. My legs ache, my side burns, but my spirit lifts slightly with the knowledge that we have crossed a threshold. The predators retreat, the rain softens, and the forest seems to settle its breath. And I, a guardian born of instinct, pain, and loyalty, walk slowly beside the humans and the fawn, aware that survival is not simply about reaching the end, it is about the choices we make along the way. The bonds that form under pressure, and the fragile, unspoken promises that carry us forward through shadow into light. The forest is quiet now, but alive. And so are we. The forest exhales slowly, a deep, steady breath that seems to push away the shadows of the night. Sunlight pierces through the canopy in golden shafts, glinting on wet leaves and puddles left behind by the storm. The air smells of earth, rain, and renewal, a sharp contrast to the damp, tension-filled darkness of our journey. I walk beside the humans, legs still trembling from exhaustion, side aching with every step, but my mind is alert. Every rustle, every flick of movement in the undergrowth carries meaning now. Nothing escapes my attention. Nothing can. The fawn, small and vulnerable, walks beside us at last, without being carried, tentative but steady. Testing the ground with fragile legs that have learned resilience in the span of a few days. The path ahead is gentler, less treacherous, yet I feel the weight of everything we endured. Yesterday's predator, the relentless storm, the uncertainty of human intervention, they have left marks deeper than scars. I pause briefly at a clearing where sunlight touches the river's edge. Water flows calm and clear, reflecting the sky in a way that seems impossible after the chaos we have survived. The fawn stops to drink, ears flicking at every sound, eyes wide but trusting. I stand close, letting it feel my presence. The humans watch quietly, understanding the importance of the bond between us, trust forged in fear and maintained through patience. The forest is alive in subtle ways I had ignored before. Birds cautiously return to branches, their songs hesitant but growing stronger. Insects hum across the water's surface, and leaves glisten as drops of rain linger, catching light like tiny prisms. Nature, as always, is indifferent and yet generous in its rhythms. I sniff the air and catch traces of the world beyond the clearing, other animals, distant rivers, the faint scent of human habitation. All are reminders that life continues, unbroken and relentless. We have survived, but survival does not erase the memory of the storm. The humans begin speaking softly. Words I cannot comprehend, but the tone is filled with relief and gratitude. They bend to check the fawn, making adjustments with gentle hands, supporting it in ways my instinct could never fully teach. I watch, feeling the quiet satisfaction of knowing that this fragile creature will live because we all endured together. My body aches, still raw from injuries and exhaustion, but my heart lifts with a fragile, steady hope. It is a hope, not of triumph, but of persistence, the quiet assurance that life, however battered, continues. We move slowly, the forest around us settling into calm. Shadows have shifted, light softens, and every sound feels measured and meaningful. I notice details I had overlooked in fear, a broken branch caught in a root, the shimmer of dew on moss, a bird cautiously returning to feed. These small acts of life echo loudly in the silence left by the storm. The fawn looks to me, small eyes wide, as if asking for reassurance. I nudge it gently with my nose. it leans into the touch. Trust, fragile and earned, has become our quiet companion as we reach the edge of the forest. Where trees thin and sunlight floods the ground, I pause. The humans stop as well, sensing the significance of this threshold. Ahead lies space less constrained, open and forgiving in a way the dense forest never could be. I look back once, at the winding path we have traveled, at the shadows that chased us, at the hollows where danger waited unseen. Every mark, every footprint tells the story of endurance, courage, and choice. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been forgotten. The fawn steps into the sunlight, hesitant at first, then more confidently. Its small body stretches, muscles testing themselves after days of weakness. I stay close, shadowed by its courage and my own lingering vigilance. The humans smile faintly, their relief palpable but quiet. Knowing the forest itself has witnessed everything and shaped the outcome in ways neither human nor animal could fully control. Together we have navigated a landscape of peril and mercy. And in doing so, we have learned what remains when the storm passes. Scars, bonds, understanding, and the quiet pulse of life that never truly stops. As the clearing widens, I feel the tension of the journey release in slow, deliberate breaths. My legs tremble less. My body is still raw, but I feel strength returning, not the reckless strength of instinct, but the measured strength of experience, of survival, earned and shared. The fawn looks up at me one last time before venturing forward. I remain close, guiding without commanding, protecting without force. The humans follow with care, giving space, honoring what has been built between us. The forest stretches beyond, alive and patient. Life continues. We continue. Every step is cautious, but certain. The storm has passed, but its lessons remain etched into us, the predator, the rain, the fear, the trust, the mercy. They shape the way we move now, and the way the forest moves with us. In the quiet aftermath, I realize something profound. Survival is not simply reaching the end, but learning how to carry what matters through chaos, and how to honor the bonds forged in it. And so we move forward together, slower, quieter, but unbroken. The forest hums softly around us, a lullaby of resilience. Every breath I take, every step I place, is a testament to what remains after the storm life, fragile, enduring, and full of quiet wonder. Dusk falls over the forest with a deliberate, patient rhythm, softening every edge, stretching shadows long and slow. The air is cooler now, scented with damp earth and fading sunlight, carrying the faint whisper of life moving unseen. I lie beneath a great tree, sides still tender, muscles tense, yet finally resting against the warmth of the earth. Around me the forest exhales, its quiet song leaves rustling, distant water murmuring, insects stirring in soft chorus. The fawn sleeps nearby, small chest rising and falling with steady breaths, finally free of fear, finally learning that the world can hold safety alongside danger. I watch it, heart heavy and light at once, knowing the journey we survived is carved into its being as deeply as it is into mine. The humans move gently around us, leaving space yet remaining close enough that we sense their presence. Their care is quiet, deliberate, without ceremony. And in their stillness, I see reflection. Not triumph, not applause, but understanding. They know what the forest has taught us all, that life is neither cruel nor kind by design. It simply is, and we must navigate it with courage, patience, and empathy. I close my eyes briefly, feeling the warmth of their hands, the rhythm of the fawn's breathing, the pulse of the earth beneath me. Time stretches, measured not in hours, but in heartbeats and the slow, deliberate unfolding of day into night. Night deepens, and stars begin to appear through gaps in the canopy, faint pinpricks of cold light that seem impossibly far and impossibly near all at once. The forest settles into a quiet rhythm, nocturnal life beginning to stir. Owls glide silently, wings cutting air without sound. Insects chirp and hum in their hidden homes. Distant rustles hint at unseen animals reclaiming their space. I breathe slowly, deeply, absorbing the world as it moves around me. I am small here, a single shadow beneath trees that have seen countless storms, countless predators, countless lives rise and fall. And yet, in this small space, I understand something vast. The wild does not teach through ease. It teaches through survival, through mercy, through bonds formed in fear, and through the quiet lessons learned in the spaces between life and death. The fawn shifts, stretching, ears twitching. I nudge it gently, and it leans into me, trusting, expecting no words, no promise beyond presence. That trust is its inheritance, forged in fear and preserved through patience. I allow myself to rest fully now, knowing that protection has been given and received, and that the forest itself has witnessed both courage and restraint. Somewhere beyond the clearing, predators move, streams flow, leaves whisper. Nothing is certain except the rhythm of existence, and we are part of that rhythm. Fragile, yet enduring. The humans retreat slowly, careful not to disturb the fragile peace, leaving us to the forest's embrace. Their footsteps fade into distant shadows, and I feel the quiet swell of understanding settle over us. We have learned from one another, from the storm, from the predators, from fear itself. Courage is not loud. Sacrifice does not always demand recognition. Mercy does not always announce itself. The forest has shown us that survival is measured not only in life endured, but in life honored, each heartbeat, each breath, each fragile trust preserved. I lift my head slightly, sniffing the cool night air. The fawn stirs beside me, eyes half-lidded but alert. Its small form is a testament to endurance, to the careful, deliberate choices that allowed us to reach this moment. I rise slowly, legs stiff but steady, side aching but spirit intact. We move together toward the faint silver light of the moon filtering through trees. Shadows stretching behind us like memories we carry but do not dwell on. Each step forward is quiet, deliberate, filled with a weight that is at once sorrow and wisdom. The forest closes around us, protective yet indifferent, alive in ways both seen and unseen. I pause, gaze lifting to the canopy, tracing the stars beginning to bloom in the night sky. In this silence, I feel the lessons settle within me. Courage does not roar. Compassion does not always belong to the gentle. Survival is a dance between fear and trust, instinct and empathy. And sometimes, the wild teaches us how to save one another not with force, but with presence, patience, and unwavering vigilance. As I lie down again, letting the fawn curl close, I hear the forest breathe. Life continues, relentless, patient, and beautiful in its imperfection. Shadows and light play across the leaves, casting patterns that shift with every slight breeze. I close my eyes fully now, letting the quiet settle over me, knowing that we are safe for now. And in that safety, I feel something rarer than triumph. Understanding the forest waits, is ever patient, teaching its quiet, unspoken lessons. And I, a witness and a participant, rest at last beneath its shadow. Carrying the weight of survival, the bond of trust, the profound truth of the wild, it is neither cruel nor kind. It simply is. And in that reality, we have found our place, our purpose, and the quiet legacy of courage and mercy. That will linger long after we are gone. The screen fades slowly to the silver glow of moonlight on leaves, the soft pulse of water in the distance, and the gentle rise and fall of two bodies resting in the forest's embrace. Not a triumph, not a victory, but a lesson, quiet, enduring, unforgettable.